I'm going to go to page 16, number 4, ordinance calendar number 32,923 by Councilmember Gibson and Palmer by request. An ordinance to approve amendments to the Articles of Incorporation and bylaws of the New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation in accordance with ordinance number 14,118 MCS, as approved by the Board of Directors of the New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation on Monday, February 10, 2020, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval.
Okay, thank you. Council members, the next three by request ordinances, agenda items 4, 5, and 6, involve the New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation. As you all know, part of the Fair Share Agreement called for the New Orleans and Company to assume full responsibility for advertising and marketing for the tourism industry. As such, the Mayor and NOTMC Board have called for shifting NOTM's focus, updating the mission and bylaws of the organization to be geared towards supporting and uplifting the cultural community that makes New Orleans such a special place. Representatives from the Mayor's office previously laid out these plans publicly at the February 13th and at the March 12th Governmental Affairs Committee, and at numerous NOTMC board committees. The NOTMC board has already voted to approve the changes to its articles of incorporation and bylaws, which require council approval. This is agenda item 4, ordinance calendar number 32,923. Briefly, those changes rename the NOTMC to the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund and reconfigure the board composition to be 7 members, including 4 from the cultural economy to be chosen by the mayor. 2 board members will be city council members representing the Vieux Carré and the Downtown Development District, and the remaining board member will be appointed by the city council. Agenda item number 5, ordinance calendar number 32,924, updates the code to reflect the article and bylaw changes, including adding the new name and removing reference to the NOTMC expenditure formula, which is being amended out of the bylaws. Finally, agenda item 6, ordinance calendar number 32,925, modifies the terms governing NOTMC's approval as an economic development corporation. Key to this change is the requirement that the administration produces within 90 days a new economic development plan that details how the fund will support equitable and sustainable tourism, the cultural economy, and culture bearers within the city of New Orleans. Once submitted, the council will have the responsibility of approving this plan. Until that happens, any NOTMC funding must be aligned with what we already approved in the 2020 budget. Moving forward, the ordinance requires the mayor to submit an annual program with the NOTMC budget request. Under state law, they also must submit an annual report outlining prior year's activities by March 1st. The mayor has asked that we vote to approve these 3 ordinances today to move this process forward, including the work to create the new economic development plan. She has given me a statement that I would like to read into the record right now. Quote, culture and culture bearers are the heart of the city's tourism economy, but as tourism grew, many did not reap the benefits of that growth. COVID-19 has dealt the tourism industry a serious economic blow that has affected culture bearers deeply. Now more than ever, the city must invest its attention to these people and cultural institutions that make us unique and marketable on a global scale. I could not agree with her more, and therefore ask for your support in approving the following 3 ordinances, which were approved by the at Governmental Affairs. In addition, the administration has also agreed to commit $250,000 to a citywide sustainable tourism plan that will be done in conjunction with New Orleans and Company and GNOF and all stakeholders that are out there currently. And this whole process really should be inclusive of every aspect of our city. So I also want to thank at this point and offer if they have any comments. Councilmember Helena Moreno also sat on NOTMC, as does Councilmember Jay Banks, and both have been very involved in this entire process. Councilmember Moreno, Councilmember Banks.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Palmer. I would just want to say this one thing, as we've worked through this process, I think that those of us who served on NOTMC, that what we really wanted to make sure that was in place as we move forward is that we do come up with a plan as to how we're going to really transform tourism in our city. And really now with this whole COVID situation that's happened, it's even more relevant now than ever before. And so now that we know that there is a commitment to ensure that that happens, I feel comfortable, moving forward with this entire plan. So I just thank you, Councilmember Palmer, really for your leadership in that, to ensure that that type of really kind of path is put before us so that we know exactly what steps we're taking as we move tourism forward into the future. So thank you.
And I'd be remiss not to also mention Councilmember Williams. You also served on NOTMC, and you've had incredible leadership in terms of really making sure healthcare is provided and has more accessibility to all of our hospitality workers. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this whole process?
No, Councilmember Palmer, I think you've touched on it all. It's just I think this particular body is just more keenly aware of some of the inequities, whether they be conscious or subconscious, that have revealed themselves in the past as it relates to tourism and hospitality in the city. And Councilmember Moreno, you brought it up. COVID-19 is going to further expose all of that. And as we, I guess, go through our phases of our reopening, when it is time for that, we're going to realize that there are not going to be as many tourists walking these streets and filling these hotel rooms. And so it is going to call on, there's going to be a calling on all of those folks whose businesses have thrived on that to be more creative. And I think that they need to look within and look to locals. And you have talked about sustainable tourism over and over again, Councilmember Palmer. Now is that time. Now is that time.
All right, Councilmember Banks, did you have anything to add? No, okay. All right, so with that, I move for approval on ordinance calendar number 32,923. Madam Clerk, is there any public comment?
There's no public comment for items 4, 5, or 6, Councilmember.
Okay, so do I have I move, do I have a second?
Second.
You do have a second. I apologize, I was on mute, but no, I am 100% support of this because sustainable tourism is the only way that we're going to keep our community moving forward. So I'm 100% in favor of this and glad to join with you in partnering with this. So again, I apologize, but I'm not the most technologically astute member of the council, so I couldn't get the mute off.
Thank you. I can never imagine you muted anyway. So we have a second to that. Roll call.
Okay, Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Moreno,
Aye.
Councilmember Jeruso,
Aye.
Councilmember Banks,
Aye.
Councilmember Palmer,
Aye.
Councilmember Brissette,
Aye.
Councilmember Wynn.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0.
Thank you. Okay. Clerk, do you need to move to the next agenda item?
Yes, ma'am. Ordinance calendar number 32,924 by Councilmember Gustafson Palmer by request. An ordinance to amend and reordain sections 150-1003 through 150-1005 of Chapter 150 of the Code of City of New Orleans to reflect the corporate name change from New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation to the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund, to change the name of the annual program that must be submitted to the City Council by the corporation, and to remove references to the expenditure formula that was amended out by the bylaws of corporation and otherwise to provide respect thereto. Government Affairs Committee recommended approval.
I move for approval of ordinance calendar number 32,924.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Moreno,
Aye.
Councilmember Jeruso,
Aye.
Councilmember Banks, Councilmember Palmer,
Aye.
Councilmember Brissette,
Aye.
Councilmember Wynn.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0. We go to page 17. Ordinance calendar number 32,925 by Councilmember Gustafson Palmer by request. An ordinance to amend and reordain ordinance number 14,118 MCS, which approved the incorporation of the New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation, NOTMC, as an economic development corporation pursuant to the Cooperative Economic Development Law, Louisiana Revised Statute 33-920, To modify the terms governing NOTMC's approval as an economic development corporation and to incorporate revised articles of incorporation and bylaws. Inter alia. 1, change the name of the corporation from NOTMC to the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund. 2, modify certain provisions affecting corporate governance. And 3, amend the purpose of the corporation to include support for the equitable and sustainable tourism as well as support for the cultural and economy and cultural bearers of the city of New Orleans through programs and projects consistent with the Cooperative Economic Development Law and otherwise to provide respect thereto. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval.
All right, I move to approve ordinance calendar number 32,925.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Williams,
Aye.
Councilmember Moreno,
Aye.
Councilmember Jeruso,
Aye.
Councilmember Banks,
Aye.
Councilmember Palmer,
Aye.
Councilmember Brissette,
Aye.
Councilmember Wynn.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0.
Thank you, council members.